What's up, guys? Let's do episode 3 of the Simone Biles documentary, part 2.
Jonathan just got picked up by the Chicago Bears. We're excited about it because we do love the city of Chicago. Cheers to Chicago. I think it's important that we make time for each other while we're doing our sports because it's time that we'll never get back.
Especially as newlyweds.
Anytime I get to go and support him. Jonathan's throwing at the first pitch. I'm coming! So I try to cheat my way by doing some gymnastics, and everybody's like, oh, she's a gymnast. I'm like, no, I'm trying to get the closest I can before I have to throw the ball. He's throwing.
Members of your Chicago Bears, Jonathan Owens.
Wait, that was a good throw.
That was the most perfect throw he could have thrown. Because I got you.
You got me?
Yep.
You gonna get me right, baby.
In the beginning, appearing to outsiders' views is that they were the biggest fan of Jonathan, and then he did an interview, and it was actually taken out of context.
How in the hell did you pull Simone Biles? How did you do that, bro?
Man, it's cute. Really, how she pulled me, man. That's the question.
Oh,
man.
Lord Jesus. Now you with Freddie.
Did you tell her you didn't know who she was?
Actually, my question to her was like, who's your competition? I didn't know nothing about gymnastics, so I'm just asking.
Nobody.
And then they became Jonathan's biggest haters.
Wow. Yeah, that's so crazy. I mean, even seeing it now and more, in that interview, so many people just didn't watch the interview, and then people spliced it and put it up to make it look like, did you know who she was? And then it cuts to Jonathan. I didn't know anything about gymnastics. Like, that was literally such a moment, like, completely taken out of context, and people just ran with it. This is the awful thing about the internet, and I don't understand how people who splice that video up to make it look like that, I don't know how they don't get into trouble doing that, because you are misconstruing this whole story for what purpose? To make them look negative. Because what does that ultimately end up doing for you? It puts more money in your pocket because it gets more views. That to me, it borders with libel, slander, like that type of family, where it's like, you are claiming that I said something by completely misconstruing the whole story so that I look crazy and more people watch it on your page, which makes you more money. How is that okay and legal? Like, is it? I don't even know. And I ask this as a ignorant person in this term, and I should seriously look into it just because I am on social media, but I've always wondered that. I'm like, you see it everywhere. You see it in journalism, you see it on the news, you see it in people's social media posts. It's like, why are they clipping things like that? And you know what? That's not even a good question. I know why. We should know why. It's all for money because it gets more views, but how is that allowed? How is it legal? Because you are ultimately misconstruing and lying to make this person look a certain way to benefit you. And it's just crazy to me. And that's exactly what happened here. And the worst part about it was seeing how many people attacked them on social media from stuff that literally wasn't even true. And they just didn't have any respect for Simone, who was, first of all, no respect to even watch the full video, full interview. And then two, no respect for Simone, who's telling people, like, leave us alone. Like, this is my husband. You're being very disrespectful. You're crossing lines. I love him. He supports me. And they're like, you're just lying to yourself. He's gaslighting you. And it's like, actually, you're gaslighting her into making her think that her husband's not truthful and faithful and doesn't love her because of a clip that was posted together that's a lie. And then you're trying to comment to her. Like, you guys are nuts.
He knew who she was. She was on a Wheaties box. Everybody knows who Simone Biles is. I don't know who he is.
Mr. Simone Biles apparently didn't know who the GOAT
That
was.
makes me, that really does make my heart hurt for her, because I can't imagine seeing my husband's face all over social media and like The View and all of those places, and they're just dogging on him, and it's not true. Like, that everything that they're upset about is completely take it out of context, and that's so frustrating, and it's hurtful to you because it's hurtful to somebody that you love. So that makes me so mad for her.
Simone Biles' husband is a
And people just did it again for clout. You guys don't talk about gymnastics ever. But all of a sudden, you want to come to Simone's defense and be like, we don't know who you are, Mr. Owens. You're just Simone Biles' husband. Me. But I don't know any of the 4 events. I don't know any of the other... Like, shut up. You guys don't talk about our sport ever, and now all of a sudden you're Simone Biles' biggest advocate. She don't need you. She's Simone Biles. She got herself. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what is your name? You're literally Mr. Biles to me. Mr. Biles got more attention tonight than he gets at his own games. Mr. Biles should have kept this in the absolute position. I still don't like him. Who is that guy kissing the world's greatest gymnast? Because he's
See? Idiots.
spelled it wrong. Who's gonna go to somebody's profile and say who you can or can't love? Like, that's just ridiculous. People, they equate our love to the amount of trophies and medals and accolades that I have, and that's not how you measure love. Like, that doesn't equate to how much my husband loves me or...
Also, when has it ever been okay to tell someone how the way that they love someone is or is not correct in, like, a general sense? Like what I said earlier, people just like to gaslight Simone and be like, you do know you're actually just lying to yourself. You do know actually he's being a bad husband. And it's like, what are you talking about? So, like, when has that ever been a thing? Unless there's, like, very clear-cut issues happening, like abuse or, like, then I'm all for intervening because now you've got to protect your friend or the person that you love. But taking a video out of context and then telling them, girl, he don't love you. You should marry someone else. Crazy. And then 2, like, when did that become anybody's business? And then 2, to do it to Simone Biles? The audacity of people. Oh, social media has been such a social... Makes me want to throw up the amount of things people will say on social media, but they won't say it to your face. Like, the audacity social media has given people...
Makes me.
Just how you wouldn't want someone like bad talking your relationship behind your back. Like,
it's not even behind their back though. It's all up in front of their face, all over social media, getting millions of views and making them money. It's stupid.
Disrespectful. Like, nobody, you wouldn't do it to anyone else, you know. So we're all human at the end of the day. Like, regardless of what your job is.
That's what crazy to me too is people look at celebrities like that and it's like free game to them. Like, oh well, because you're famous and you make all this money, I'm gonna be really ugly, mean, rude, bully. I'm gonna do it to you because you'll be fine.
You wake up and brush your teeth same way. Like,
also, I'm sorry, I keep pausing it because I just keep thinking of new thoughts. Like, also, this is a woman that has been on a mental health journey who's like trying to heal her mental health. We saw how bad her mental health was doing and why it caused her to have the twisties, and we're on this journey to her, and you thought it was a good idea to go bash her husband on social media? Do you think that was good for her mental health? Stop saying you're here for people and stop saying you care about that when you're actually doing things that's going to affect their mental health in a negative way, and you have no business doing it. It's so hypocritical to me.
it's, you know, there's no difference. It's just your job, and that is televised.
Social media gives them this false sense of reality that they really know who you are and how you function.
And people think because you're on social media and because you're famous, it gives them a right to know about you. It gives them a right to know your business. It gives them a right to say something of opinion from theirs to your life, and you should take it, you know, as is and heavy. Like, what? That is not how sharing your life on social media or becoming a celebrity, it doesn't entitle anybody to anything. I understand having a following and wanting to show your appreciation to your supporters. That's one thing, and that's called being a business person. That's called running a good business and getting people to come back to your business, because people start social media for the most part as some type of business mindset. I think of course there's exceptions to the rule, and many creators just create because they love it, but they end up finding out how much money you can make, and they're like, oh, okay, this is like a thing. So now it does become more of a business for them. But at the end of the day, treating your followers with respect and showing them appreciation does not equal them having a right to know every little thing about your life and thinking that their opinion gets to dictate how you act and what you do on social media, or who you love for that matter.
Most of the time, they don't understand the mental toll that it takes, especially going into an
Like
Olympic
I said,
year.
mental health.
I know we signed up to be judged in the gym, but when you guys are going to talk about him or my family, yeah, I'm going to come at you guys.
That's what pisses me off too. And you know what? People can handle this however they see fit. I understand that. But I think for people that are, and I keep using this term, but essentially gaslighting Simone, so they'll poke the bear, literally, Chicago Bears, poke the bear. And then when Simone responds, they're like, Simone, you shouldn't be saying anything. You need to have more self-control. You're a celebrity. Do you know how many kids look up to you? No. That's not fair. You don't get to come at my husband and come at me in our marriage and say all these untrue, awful things about us. And then when I go to respond or I clap back and I match energy, you want to act like I'm a bad guy. Don't play victim in a situation you created. That is crazy. That's what pissed me off too. Now, I can't say how I would or would not handle the situation, but I guarantee you Simone let a lot of stuff go. And at some point you can only take so much and you feel like you have to defend what's yours.
It's different.
This has me heated right now. I did not expect it to go this way.
I have a voice. I've always had a voice. Just because you didn't think I would see it doesn't mean I'm not obligated to respond. It is crazy.
Bro, this is exactly what I'm saying. Again, this is like, people need to take a step back and realize too what they did. You saw the suppression of her voice for so long with the Olympic Training Center, Marta, Larry, all those things. And you want to be like, use your voice. We support you, Simone. Mental health rocks. And then when she goes and is like, hey, you're actually being awful for my mental health because you're making up stuff about my husband. You're saying this, you're saying that. You're saying I can't speak up. Now all of a sudden you want to silence her, or you want to tell her that she can't respond. You want to tell her that she's not allowed to feel a certain way about her husband. Do you want to be the pot or the kettle? Ho.
But I deleted Twitter.
Of Paris have had an Olympic
They
makeover.
are expecting almost 4 billion viewers.
Just how it starts. But this is the middle of the quilt, which is Bannon's Gymnastics.
Oh, I just literally got
That's where she
goosebumps.
started.
Yeah.
In that day, we were supposed to go to the oil ranch, and it had been like rained out. So
Welcome to Texas, and you're supposed to go to the oil ranch on a field trip. Yeehaw.
the gym down the street. So I feel like if it didn't rain, then I probably wouldn't be a gymnast to this day.
Look at God. Oh, goodness.
It took years being in the sport to realize I was good. I was very wild, very funky. Couldn't straighten my legs, point my toes, all of that good stuff. They knew that.
I just laugh because I remember competing against Simone for so long, and she was so... You knew she was good. Like, when we look at her, I'm like, oh my God, Simone's so good. But none of us really... You know, it's funny because to me, I'm like, there's something about her. But I thought it was just her talent level that she had and the natural bounce to her. And she was so powerful and so strong. But, you know, we looked at Simone, everybody as a whole, I think, that competed with her. And we're like, she's really great. She's really talented. She's just not that great at bars. And she like she said, I didn't point my toes. I went straight my knees. And so it's just funny because I look back and I'm like, I remember Simone before she was Simone. I remember competing against Simone before she was Simone. I remember competing and I went before Simone, and Amy was like, did you see Bray got a 9.7 on bars? And Simone's like, well, great. Bray's good at bars. I'm not. And I think Simone got like, I don't know, high 8s on that one meet. We were level 10 or something like that. And it's just weird. It's just so funny to look back and be like, I remember her nobody stage. And I think that's always my best. Like, I love using her as an example to many of my gymnasts. I'm like, you have no idea how and where Simone started. Like, she was you. You can't point your toes yet, but that's the key word, yet. You know, Simone wasn't Simone until she was. You know, she wasn't this goat of a gymnast or athlete until she was 14, 15. You know, she was in the sport way before that, and She worked really hard and had a lot of fine tuning to do. And even in her first Olympics, you see, compared to where she was this last Olympics, like even that fine tuning getting even better. Like gymnastics is such a marathon of a sport, and that's what's important to remember. And every year we get older as people and as athletes, we should be getting better. We should be getting wiser. So never judge where you are today to someone who's already lived your today. You know, I'm 28 years old, and it's not fair for me to look at someone that's 30 and be like, they're so much more successful than me and they're smarter than me. Yeah, but when they were at 28, they didn't know what they knew at 30. Like, that's the whole point of living. That's the whole point of, we're supposed to be better every day. And that's the point of always trying to get better, because we can always get better as people. We can always be more educated. We could always, get better at our sport. We can always get better at our art, like whatever the case may be. And so it's just so funny looking back and being like, what a different world it was. It's just so weird to like go back and reminisce a little bit, because it was literally 15 years ago, doing this and seeing Simone when she was before Simone. And that's just something so important for gymnasts to remember, is Simone didn't start out like this. She started out just like you, but she worked really hard and she never gave up. So I'm excited to get into the rest of this episode. I'm going to go ahead and cut it here since we're about to be at the 20-minute mark. The next one, hopefully I'll do less talking so I can finish it in just 3 parts. But let me know your guys' thoughts below. Thank you so much for supporting my channel as always, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.